Hello, we're the Aiken County Watchdogs. I'm John Kraft.
I'm Kirk Allen.
And we're going to talk about the Vermilion County Board meeting. That was pretty interesting.
Shall we start with the before the meeting?
Yeah, you can start with before the meeting.
Sitting there, we got there early. They've got a table set there for the press to sit at. And we got there early enough to read through the minutes, or not the minutes, the minutes and the agenda items, everything. Nice packet, a lot of information there to read through. And identified a few things that shouldn't be happening at the meeting, and they actually took care of it, but got approached by a gentleman demanding credentials, wanting to know who we were. And
who asked you?
Well, he didn't introduce himself until I asked him under what authority he was asking me those questions, and he advised me he was the county board chairman. I said, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, county board chairman. We've dealt with him before.
He said that with authority too, didn't he?
Oh yes, absolute authority.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
I thought, yeah.
So I, unfortunately it started before the meeting, so we don't have it on record. Don't have a tape or an audio, which is really disappointing because it was classic. But introduced myself, told him who I was, and he wanted to see credentials, and I don't think that went over real well for him, did it?
He tried to tell us to move from the media table. He tried to get us to tell him what newspaper, television station, or radio station we work for, and we're not required to give any of that information. So
I think if he'd have come up with a little different attitude and just introduced himself, and
because we gave all the information to a county board member after the meeting, the one that's sitting right in front of us.
Yep, right in front of us. Great conversation, no problem. Boy, the chairman was absolutely irate that we were sitting in the press section.
Even gave him a business card.
Yep.
Which they used to call a former state's attorney and ask them what they thought about us. That'll be another video. Though.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting. One of 3 state's attorneys they talked to will be, or former state's attorneys. It'll be interesting to see which one it was.
See, what else happened? During public session, they had 2 county board members that always get up and leave. They don't feel like they need to listen to the public talk. And one of them's name was Bob. Well, let's listen to the audio.
It's a good one.
I've been on the board 40 years, more than 40. I've had this bullshit for 3 years. I'm tired of it. Well, what are we going to do? You guys are from Iroquois County.
It's her right to talk to
well, let her talk. Let her talk.
It's her right to talk to the board.
She don't need, I can get it. I can get a record of it at home. Stay, write it up.
So, he's been on the board for 41 years and he's tired of listening to that bullshit. We can solve that by resigning.
Yep, way to go, Bob. The public has a right to address the public body. He's part of the public body. Getting up and leave, I think that ought to be an OMA complaint and see what the AG's got to say about that.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, because then once he leaves, then that's a partial public body.
Yep.
So, and then another person got up to leave, and I just followed him into the hallway and asked one simple question: why do you feel you have the right to leave and don't have to listen to public speaking during public session? He didn't say a word. He just kept going. But what was interesting is a former county board member came out there and accused me of harassing the board members.
And I've heard that guy was the former county chairman.
Yeah.
Lost his re-election.
Accused me of harassing board members by asking them that one simple question.
Well, anytime you question public officials, in their eyes, it is harassment. They don't like to be questioned.
I let him know where I stood, and then a few minutes later, a couple sheriff deputies showed up to observe the rest of the meeting, and they stood around outside after the meeting while we were in the parking lot talking and observed us. And
showed up at the restaurant where we went to.
When we pulled out, we forgot to tell somebody something, so we pulled into the next parking lot, and there's a sheriff deputy headed our direction on that one too.
Yep, right after you pulled out.
It's funny how they all arrive and leave and go the same direction we're going.
Yep. Arrived at the same parking lot just down the road where we went to grab a bite to eat.
It's called attempted intimidation.
Won't work.
Attempted is because it's, we don't get intimidated.
No. Not at all, not with this group.
So that's about it. Ongoing arguments about a $634,000 no-bid contract for GIS. We're working on that one, and and wind turbine issues that are still unresolved, and basically all the county board needs to do is institute zoning or increase the setbacks on their permits.
Yep, and there's a way to do it, and there's definitely safety guidelines. They could do that if they wanted to.
But they just don't want to yet.
Now, they did do something good, though. I mean, there were two items on that agenda. That one was an amendment to a budget that they declared an emergency. That was on that microfishing. They were going to electronically...
Taking pictures of documents. They tried to say that was they were going to say that was an emergency.
Yep, didn't work.
No, it didn't.
No, one of the citizens got up there and spoke about that, and they actually took it off the agenda. There was no action on that. It was tabled. So I commend them for doing the right thing. There's no emergency amendment needed, and those documents being scanned now is not an emergency, and it even said it was scheduled for 2014.
Yeah.
But they wanted to make it an emergency and do it now. They probably had some money show up from somewhere that they were trying to spend.
Yeah.
So, anything else up in Vermilion?
That's it for now.
Sounds good. We'll see you next time.
All right, see ya.